If you miss Wednesday nights, the 110 Nation Sports Show, you miss Mario and myself discussing the PED era and how those players revitalized baseball and why they still should be in the Hall of Fame.
With the whole Barry Bonds, McGuire, Sammy Sosa,
and kept baseball live though. Them were some good times back, during that time. It was definitely
crazy because
watching.
Yeah, it's crazy because we was at a time where baseball was probably at some of its all-time lows after the strike, and people just didn't want to watch. And it is funny how, of course, Sosa and McGuire, they've come out and admitted to it. Barry Bonds he'll ride or die. He'll never admit to anything.
Take it to the grave.
Yeah. And I'm not delusional. And to say that, okay, I remember what Barry Bonds looked like when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know what he looked like when he hit all those home runs in San Francisco. Obviously, he put on a considerate amount of size. It could have been that, yes, he had a whole different eating regimen and, took very good care of his body and took the right supplements. I'm not delusional to think that. But it's crazy to me how they're able to keep him out of the Hall of Fame without there being any admission or any proof that he actually did anything. What's your thoughts on these players not being allowed? One, all of them not being allowed that have come out or tested positive. And then more specifically with Barry Bonds, where there's not any actual admission or proof that he actually did anything. Should he be allowed in the Hall of Fame?
During that time, that was a great time in baseball. I was on the younger side. I was on I enjoyed it, but could I put him in the Hall of Fame? Yes, I could. Could I put Clemens in with him? I'll say yes also. But, I'm not on the committee. You know what I mean? I think a lot of other players got into the Hall of Fame. That was during that time. That was also using, but I say, yeah, I would put Bonds in. I honestly would.
I am in the same boat.
Yeah.
I am in the same boat as you. The reason is one, you're not ever going to convince me that Roger Maris back in the day hit 61 home runs, and it took Mark McGuire or Barry Bonds or even Sammy Sosa on roids to beat his record. So you're going to convince me that Roger Maris, and I'm not going to say necessarily did steroids, but you're going to tell me that Roger Maris did this completely clean, and nobody else in the world could do that until they were doing PEDs, and that was the only way that record, that 61 home runs in a year, could be beat. I just find it hard to believe. But more specifically, one, what they did resurrected Major League Baseball. What they did in that home run race went from nobody wanting to be at a game or watching a game to one, when McGuire, Sosa, and went back and forth that year, the stadiums were getting packed. And then, of course, all eyes was on baseball when Barry Bonds and ultimately hit the 756 home run. I think he hit, 77 or 70-something in the season. Ultimately, that helped put eyes back on baseball and put baseball back on the map.
Yeah.
someone that has used supplements, and supplements is about as close as you can get to taking roids. I have done my research. I have watched my documentaries. I have watched and studied when it comes to that. It's not like taking these different things improve their eye-back coordination or made them run faster or do anything that, like all of a sudden they're running the Flash-like speeds and had Superman-like strength. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it just helped them recover faster.
Mm-hmm.
Where the whole roid issue in a slippery slope for me is where, and them not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame, is all the technology that we've gotten over the years, all the advancement, all the different types of creatines. And right now when you go into your GNCs and you go into this place and you go into that place, even the stuff you can take that wouldn't come up positive for anything is so advanced that you're going to tell me that it doesn't give the player today any kind of advantage over the player of yesterday? Like, how do you dictate just because of the one PED is the only thing that doesn't, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're saying that roids is the only thing that gives you an unfair advantage over anybody else, but creatine, just the natural, just taking creatine helps you with size and strength that the players back in the 30s, 40s, 50s didn't have. So now we're dictating on what we feel is an acceptable advantage for today's players versus yesterday's players.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. So, and then on top of that, I feel for the most part, especially during that time frame, it evened out the play field. If you got someone like Roger Clemens taking steroids, why should the batter not be able to have that same, quote unquote advantage? I have taken some stuff that is called Tren. A buddy of mine used to get it, and I don't feel it gave me an unfair advantage. The only thing it did was I could work out like I have never worked out before. I could be in that gym for 4 hours. I could be drenched. I could lift my max reps, max weights that I have ever lifted in my life. And I woke up tomorrow, I didn't feel that I had done anything the day before. There was no recovery. There was no soreness. There was no nothing. I literally could have done max chest every day for 7 days straight and not been affected on that part of it. Outside of that, I don't feel that it changed anything. It wasn't like all of a sudden I was already benching 400 some odd pounds. It wasn't like I went from, 200 pounds to all of a sudden maxing out at 460, which that's what I ended up maxing out. I was already benching 420, 425, something like that. And by the time that, I think it was a 3-month, it was a 12-week cycle of supplements I took. And part of it had to do with hormones, or not hormones, testosterone as well. So it wasn't like I would just take one thing. I was taking multiple things. My bench went from a 420 to a 460s where I maxed out on 12 weeks of going to the gym hard every single day. So the whole not allowing players in because whether or not they did or did not do steroids, to me, is crazy. Just because we all know that there are players in there that slipped through the cracks, didn't happen to get tested, and are in there. You got players that it's funny because the same people that voted were excited when baseball was back on the map and baseball was everything, but then frowned upon with the players, and it wasn't just one player, it wasn't just 2 or 3 players. Everybody don't get it twisted. It wasn't just Martin McGuire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds, and we were throughout also Roger Clemens that were doing it. There were many players doing it, but you were excited that baseball was revived by that whole era of players, regardless of what they may or may not have been doing. But then when it was time to vote him in the Hall of Fame, you all of a sudden frowned upon what the exact thing you were cheering on when they put baseball back on the map.
Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel